So I went to college like a sucker. Okay, maybe that's not fair. You're not a sucker just because you go to college. But I turned 18 at the end of that time where you kind of had to go to college. Now, if I were 18 today and wanted to do what I'm doing now, I don't think I would go to college. There are a lot of other ways to get here that are richer in experience. College was great. I enjoyed it so much I went back to grad school. The thing is, I went to school for music. I'm a jazz bass player, bachelor's degree in music. I knew I didn't want to teach, but I went and taught for a year. It was the worst year of my life. And it wasn't because of the students, it was because of the adults I had to deal with. Here I am in grad school, hanging out with all these musicians. And grad school is kind of where I started this whole quest to do stationery, to be a fine press. And compared to those musicians, in a lot of ways I had my junk together. Fairly organized. I knew how to sell, talk on the phone, how to write. I thought that I was good at business. Got out into the real world and quickly realized that wasn't the case. Had a string of jobs that I found more challenging than I thought I should. And it wasn't until I had a staff member who basically told me I sucked at business. She was right. I took the DISC profile, that's D-I-S-C. I remember them as dominant, influencer, steadfast, and compliant. I had taken it before at a previous job, wasn't ready, and so I took it for myself because I knew I had to get out of the job that I was in. I wound up getting fired. Life has a way of doing what you can't do. But I was trying to figure out what came next, and took the DISC profile, and it was no surprise to me that I was very high in the in influence and dominance. Dominance is kind of like a classic type A. Influence, I like to talk and hang out and tell stories. So those weren't surprising, but what was surprising to me was how low I was in steadfast and compliant, which are the things that are like attention to detail and following directions and all those kinds of things. I just wasn't very good at those. I can't tell you how liberating it was to realize that that was the reason that I was unfulfilled. I was not performing well. Now, that's no excuse for me not doing the work, but what it should have done was freed me up to know that this wasn't the end. That because I wasn't good at that didn't mean that I was a failure in general. So all that to say, I think a lot about business and being creative. So I picked up this book. I don't know how you feel about Tim Ferriss. I don't know if I like him or not. If you've read The 4-Hour Workweek, I'm constantly trying to find ways to tweak where I can and then learn to outsource where I can't. Bring on other people or do other things, because business isn't what I'm great at. Helping people come up with the most ridiculous, awesome ideas for stationery is really the thing that I'm best at. And so all this other stuff is a necessity to get to the point where I'm doing the work that I want to be doing. And if there's anything that I want other creative types to understand, is that they don't have to be great business people, but they have to put great business people in their life. Otherwise, who's going to hire them? It's why I did this whole thing a while ago called Creative People Are Weird. It's the videos I did before I did these. The idea was, as creatives, we don't talk enough about how to do business right. And the reality is most of our clients are people who do business for a living. And if we don't want to be seen as flaky creative types, if we want to be taken seriously, charge real money, the money we deserve for the creative work that we do, we have to handle the business part right. Tonight, I'm speaking at a local group. It's called Lakeland Creative Makers. It's a bunch of creative types. It's a bunch of people just trying to, carve their own thing out. A lot of them are moonlighters. Some of them are doing this full time. So I was asked to speak. I do kind of a Q&A tonight. And so those orange, these I printed to give away tonight. I didn't want to come empty-handed. I'm excited tonight to explore all this stuff about how to be excellent in business as a creative. And I know that I'm not always excellent in business, and it's something that I'm really striving to be better at and put people into my life who are amazing at those things, because I'm not. I want to do more of the thing that I'm best at, and then be excellent at the other things by bringing other people into my life. I'm going to bring you along tonight. We'll see what it turns into. I'm excited. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've got to get some stuff ready for that. But before I do, a few years ago, I had the chance. This is the invitation for the Knot Gala. A really wonderful stationer by the name of Cece does these most years. One year I had the chance to do them. It was pretty awesome. I wanted to open this with you. See, iridescent and matte foil on the inside of this. That is absolutely stunning. That's pretty sweet. Cece, you always do beautiful work. I'm so glad to say I know you and that I get to be a part of this industry with you. Killer job. Check that out. used to be a little Tudor house down on the big lake in town, and a developer had bought it to flip the property and was going to tear down the whole house, and a guy in town paid to have the original part of the house surgically removed, brought over here, and turned into a bar. It's kind of cool. Check it out. Bocce ball, giant Jenga. That's the guy that built this house.
Beautiful. I'm taking stuff.
That's true, you do. Don't let him steal it.
I won't. I'll try.
Thank you for hanging out on a random Monday night when we're all still like slightly disheveled from the past week or so of crazy. Thank you for bearing with us as we have rescheduled this event now 2 times. Yeah. But that's great because then we get to see all your pretty faces again in like 2 weeks.
Merging art and urban planning. So stop by the corner store, delicious food, cool people.
So if you do want to sign up, it's artcrawlfl.com. You get to basically create with whatever medium. But here's what it's going to look like. Dun, 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 dun. Merch. And then there's a few examples of these fun things that you can do with them.
Yes, that's it. It's so easy. So for here, what's been happening since last November, what's like been your favorite? 49, Precipice. So he took my image and we went out there and made some fun stuff, and we got the co-sign on the back. So and I see what they're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, my friend does this in Lakeland. They're like, oh yeah, Fine Press. So people have heard of you. Up for Matt Wingers, he comes here. We're gonna do a little interview with him.
My very first plug is go to YouTube, search for Fine Press, subscribe please. But I'm one of those millennials that still loves phones. Like I would way rather talk to you on the phone than text you. People can't see what they don't see. So if you want to be doing something, you have to actually put it into the world.
So that was a really great meeting last night. I was a little worried because the meeting had been pushed back twice, once for a holiday, once for a hurricane, but it went really well. My friend Virgil live streams them on Facebook, and so if there's a public link available, I'll link it below. I'd love for you to watch it and tell me what you think. But it's always a really great opportunity to talk shop with other creative people. I had a lot of really great conversations afterwards with friends and fellow creatives who are going through similar struggles, who are trying to figure out kind of how to balance the business world and the creative world, how to be effective at doing what they do best. So it was a wonderful evening. I love Lakeland Creative Makers. It's one of the best things happening in my town right now. And it's a really great opportunity for me to stay engaged in my local community while I'm trying to grow this global business. But it's almost 7:30, it's time to get started.